Hey guys, my name's Mary Lily.
I'm Marshall. And I'm Caitlin.
And we're the hosts of Unveiled Opinions.
Three newlywed girlies with a podcast on any and everything wedding related.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. How's it going?
It's going great. It's, Monday. It's rainy and cold.
Rainy and cold.
We're hanging out. It was a Super Bowl last night.
Yeah. And we're together.
Yeah.
Which is so fun.
It's so fun. Marshall isn't with us today. Her house flooded, which are so we're sending out our thoughts and prayers.
Yes, that sucks.
She has a lot to deal with right now.
So we are taking it on this week. And yeah, the Super Bowl just happened. And Valentine's Day is this week. There's so much going on.
Oh, yeah. What do you have planned for Valentine's Day? Anything fun?
No, Kyle, he wanted to do, I don't like going out for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
We did that last year and it was like a lot of fun, but it was just like the restaurant, it felt like very like in and out, like,
Right.
and they're like, I don't know, you like get your like first course before your drink and it's like, what?
I'm like over having the prefix menus. Like, we went to somewhere for dinner on New Year's Eve, and I'm like, I just want to pick out what I want if I'm coming here. This isn't a wedding.
Yeah, it's a wedding.
Like, I have to pay you. Like, I don't want a preset menu.
Exactly. And like, I just feel like they like kind of rush. And so we're not going out. And he was like, let's do steaks. And I don't know. I was like, we can like go out and get a steak whenever. Well, as I say that, we're doing hibachi at the house.
Oh my God, that's fun.
But yeah, something different than like what we normally cook.
Wait, is someone coming or you're just...
No, it's just us. Can you imagine? It's like you go hibachi party for the two of us.
Caitlin's like, another friend for me.
I mean, that would actually be a fun Valentine's Day.
We could do that.
Group of friends.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Maybe next year.
Remember there are people at my bachelorette next to us doing hibachi?
I think it's so fun.
No, that's like a really fun idea. But we had a great chef named Seth.
Yeah. Oh, Seth. What are y'all doing?
We're saying him too. We hosted people last night and it's just a lot. Like you forget how much money it is to have people over too.
Yeah, I know.
And Matthew like came and paid for everything, obviously. But he like gets so like when he sees the price of groceries, I'm like, welcome to the world.
Yeah, just because you never go to the store doesn't mean that it isn't always expensive.
He's like, how does it affect you, Mary Lily?
I know, Kyle. Are you still doing the meal delivery?
Yeah, we're having literally a meal delivery because Matt's been out of town part of this week.
Yeah,
and I got really good ones this week. I guess because of Valentine's
Day, they were doing I feel like different things.
So I'm like, we have spent so much money on like groceries and going out and food recently. I'm like, let's just chill.
That's what Kyle did find out though, how much the meal delivery stuff is.
Also, like, why does it go up every month by like $5? Like, Matthew, every time he makes me sit down and do the budget, he's like, so the Green Chef went up? I'm like,
should have I know? Like, what? Well, there was one meal that I picked out that was like, I kid you not.
It's like
it was $5 more for that one meal.
But then it's per serving, which you forget about.
Yeah. And the per serving, like that is good. When I don't know, maybe I need to do yours because the one that we're on, it's like $11.99 per serving. I'm like, this is, I mean, compared to like going out to a restaurant.
But but like now I feel like if you go out to a restaurant, like you could not get out of there for $22.
No, you couldn't for sure. That's what I'm saying. It's like cheaper than going out, but like I do feel like $11.99
though. Then like unless you like really plan your meals, this is like a little off topic. Sorry, guys, we're having a great time together, touching up. If you like really plan your meals, then I feel like you can like do less money in the grocery store. But if like every single night you're having like a different cuisine, which my husband like complains if we're eating the same thing twice in a row. I'm like, if you want me to come up with some crazy meal,
a different menu every for like
I have to buy
no leftovers
groceries.
Yeah.
So yeah, like sorry, that's if you want all this variety and me to be literally a chef, then
a home chef.
Yeah, home chef, and you got to get me home chef.
Well, it's a dilemma.
Yeah, that is quite the dilemma.
And that's what we're talking about today. Dilemmas.
I have to hit the nail to the head.
But wedding dilemmas, not, your meal plan and grocery dilemmas.
Not post-marital dilemmas.
So we have a couple things that have come through that we've heard just from different listeners and conversations of like dilemmas related to wedding planning and the planning process, just family dynamics and all of the situations. And so we're just going to talk through those. And hopefully you can, I feel like everybody has experiences these in a different capacity.
No, I feel like you go through your wedding, you are like meeting your significant other's family and like understanding how they go about stuff. And I feel like you're also like learning some stuff about your family. I feel like my parents keep so much from me. And then like during my wedding, they're like, you didn't know this about so-and-so? I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's like, what? Where have I been?
Yeah. So you get to learn a lot of vibes, I feel like, through the planning process.
Yeah.
And
then just dilemmas on decisions too, of like,
right.
We know that there's no shortage of decisions you have to make.
No, yeah. That's like all wedding planning is. I feel like.
Well, let's start with one. I feel like I'm like passionate on this one from experience that we got submitted. Is to do a sweetheart table or not to do a sweetheart table.
You did a sweetheart table.
I did.
And you are strongly against now?
I'm strongly against now.
Oh, let's hear your opening argument.
It was like pictures were very pretty.
Right.
Like we had
you guys had a beautiful arrangement on the table.
Loved it. However, we kept getting interrupted.
I literally was at the sweetheart table probably half the wedding.
But like it was like family, like people that we hadn't seen, because that was the other thing. So after the
everyone
ceremony,
walked by your sweetheart table, I feel like, to get to their seat, or like it was near like where everyone was walking in to get food and stuff. So yeah.
And then after the ceremony, we like did our planner like had snacks set aside for us, but we had to go take pictures, and so we did miss some of the time of the reception. And so then during the like getting seated, we had our meal there, so we didn't have to get up, but people just like very much felt that it was okay to like just drop in and I just want to say hi really quick.
You're
and
literally
it's like
a celebrity when you're at your wedding, which is like so much fun, but also it's literally like when the Kardashians complain and you're like, give me a break. But like then when you're in it, it is kind of annoying.
So I didn't feel like
everyone wants to like be like, oh my God, I know her. Like, and like be like, hey, like, I'm so happy I just saw you got married, blah, blah, blah. So I feel like in the end, like it doesn't accomplish the goal that you think it's going to, which I think the goal is like,
oh, you get to have a little time with your
spouse. Yeah.
But it was like if we were at like a head table with, our wedding party or our family, then I do feel like there would have been less interruptions.
No, I totally see that. We did not have a sweetheart table or anything, but yeah, I feel like also having the head table is really fun for the wedding party. So you're like, oh my God, I'm at the table with like the bride and groom. Yeah. Again, you're a celebrity. People are constantly taking pictures of you and constantly wanting to say hello. So I think just like be ready for that. Like, if you want alone time, you literally have to be hidden in a room or like away on the golf course, I feel like.
Yeah, like you.
Yeah. So it just kind of, I think about your end goal. If you want a sweetheart table because of the pictures, because you know what I mean? For some of the other reasons, just like know what you're getting and what you might be giving up.
Exactly. So, I mean, you can go either way, I think, on this for sure. But as you said, it's just like, consider what it is that you're looking for, of like, if you want an alone time, maybe go create another moment for that to happen.
Right. No. Agree. And like you're eating usually right at the beginning of the reception and right at the end of cocktail hour. So like it's just your head is like going a million miles an hour, especially if you're in the room with everybody. I feel like it's hard to take a minute. Yeah. It's just hard to get like a minute of silence with your spouse. That's really probably not like what you're going to accomplish.
And then I will say one point on for sweetheart table is one of the reasons we did it was I was like coming up with who to sit with at a head table just feels daunting.
Right.
Like I feel like it should be my parents. but I feel like it should be the wedding part. It was just like,
Right.
how do you make it work?
Right.
And that was
and it's
something
like
I didn't
you-
want to make a decision on. And
Right.
so the decision was no decision.
Well, you both have siblings, but like
Yeah.
his sister at the time of your wedding had children and
Mhm.
your like sibling doesn't. So then it's like, when do we cut it off? Like,
Yeah.
are they not going to be sitting with their parents? You know what I mean? Are we going to like just, yeah, I think it's a lot to think about having a head table. And it is also like another thing to think about when you're doing your wedding layout. So like that's best for your venue. Like,
Yeah, the layout is a big thing too.
right. Because if you like, Marshall had like a long table for her head table that we sat at. But like, if you're only doing round tables and you only have enough to have like, 6 people other than yourself, then it is a lot of pressure to pick those 6 people.
Yeah. And how do you make it fair and all the things?
Right.
And so it can just eliminate a decision
Right.
of explaining why somebody got chosen and why they didn't.
Right. But like also like with that explaining and everything, like you do feel so like, or at least I did, like much guilt. I feel like when you're the bride being like, can you do this? Or like, I
Yeah.
don't need to do this. But I think looking back, it's like everyone who's been married, like doesn't care. You know what I mean? They're like happy for you, like have your day. And it's just
Nobody's thinking about it as much as you are.
yeah.
Yeah. No,
So-
that's a good point. Okay.
What's our next dilemma? Give
The
it to me
next
straight.
dilemma. Let me make sure I read it correct. Okay, so I'm having a destination wedding, and due to budget and a few other reasons, we decided to keep our guest list very small, mainly family and a couple friends. With that said, there are many friends who I did not get to invite, but I wish that I could. My sweet future mother-in-law is throwing a beautiful bridal shower for me, and I was wondering if it would be poor etiquette or rude to invite those that did not receive an invitation to the wedding for this event. And one just kind of tag is like, I would express like, please no gifts. Like, this is just a fun gathering.
Right. Well, I think you can, as long as you're super clear about it.
Yeah.
I think like the hard thing about weddings is like now when you get engaged, like you literally put it on Instagram and everyone in your life knows. Where I feel
Yeah.
like is you used to like send out like a save the date or like a hey, we're engaged, and like the whole world didn't find out via the internet. So they weren't like, they maybe saw you and were like, oh my God, a ring. But like now when you get engaged, people are like, oh my God, am I invited? Like I feel like they like literally message you.
People like lose their filter.
Yes. Or they're like, oh my God, I can't wait for your wedding. And you're like,
Yeah.
awkward. Like you're not
Celebrate with us on Instagram.
Yeah.
After the fact.
Yeah, where you found out. But I feel like you can if you're having a small wedding. Like my sister had a small wedding.
Yeah.
And like I got to bring a date to the rehearsal dinner.
Yeah.
I brought Caitlin.
Obviously.
Such a cool girl. I was dating Matthew at the time, like a little. I don't know if I was like claiming him in front of my family yet, but like he was
So I got
around.
to come.
I think it's fine. Or like my mom's friends threw Mally's party,
Mhm.
a welcome party for her. And my mom was like, I'm so sorry. Like you guys are invited. It is family only. And like most people are like, no, we just want to entertain. Like,
Yeah, we
you
just
know what
want to celebrate.
yeah. And so I think as long as you're like clear with your expectations and nobody feels duped,
Yeah.
then I feel like it's totally fine.
Yeah.
And like say thank you to everyone who like helped you throw the party. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But like I don't think you like owe them your life. Hopefully these people like
Understand.
well, they want to celebrate you and are offering from like the good place in their heart,
Yeah.
not like
Well, and I think too, depending on what season of life you're in, it can almost be a little bit of a relief
no.
of like, oh my God.
especially if it's far away.
Yeah, if you have a destination wedding, I would, as a friend, if we're like close, but like maybe not like best friends,
Right.
I would probably rather like shower you so hard
Yeah. And like
And-
do it in town and not
Yeah.
have Kimberly like
than like buy a plane ticket and spend a couple grand to come to your wedding where maybe I don't know anyone else.
right. And like maybe I already had a vacation
Yeah.
planned that year and like this really like doesn't like fit into your schedule or your budget. Like
Yeah.
we are gonna have to go to England for a wedding soon. And I was just like, well, thank God we didn't go before. Like
Yeah.
we're going to England.
This is
Like,
our trip.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, which I'm like excited, but
Yeah.
it's kind of like, at least we know that.
Yeah.
And Matthew wanted to go. Our friend like lives part time there. And he
That's
like
fun.
wanted to go for like New Year's. And I was like, no, like we'll have to go there eventually. For
Yeah.
the wedding. Like,
We'll see you then.
yeah.
Yeah.
So-
And I don't know. If you're in a busy wedding season of life too,
Right.
then it's just like, yeah,
It
doing
is a relief. If you have 5 weddings a year and they're like, can you just come to the shower? You're like, yes, I can. And say less.
Yeah. But I do think from like the older perspective, just be mindful that like to them if you have somebody super traditional,
Right.
it is technically breaking etiquette.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that
That's-
just depends on your relationship with them.
Yeah.
Like if it's, I was going to say your grandparents, but like hopefully they're invited.
Yeah.
Unless they can't travel,
Yeah.
It's just like depends.
There's so many dynamics, but everybody has something to say. But I think like if you're upfront with people, then
right. And I mean, hopefully you have people who like want to celebrate you around you, who like love you and aren't looking for like, oh my God, like this was like in poor taste. It's
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Which it could be under the right circumstances. Like, don't get me wrong, but
Yeah. We're
we're very
Benefit-
modern.
yeah, very, I don't know, glass half full girlies, very supportive.
Yeah.
I have no
Do
idea.
whatever you want. Well, I guess it's because like I feel like we went into our weddings being like, what are we supposed to do? Like,
Yeah.
what is the right thing? And like towards the end of it, you realize that like no one
There's
else
no
cares.
right. Yeah. It really is. Just do what you want.
Right. And like there were like some wedding traditions that my mom was like, this is a wedding tradition, but like our planner had like no clue what we were talking about. So like there's different traditions for like,
Everybody.
yeah, you make up your own stuff and tell someone it's tradition. My aunt always tells people she's allergic to food if she like just doesn't want it. They like want a canapé. She's like, no thanks, I'm allergic.
So
She's like, then no one says anything to you.
yeah, they're not like, oh, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. She's like, then it just like is dropped.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's funny. Yeah. Make your own rules.
Yeah.
It's your
make own
wedding.
rules. I've like told the tanning people before that no lotion gave me a rash just to get out of them like making me buy stuff. I'm like, that gave me a rash. I don't want to use it.
Oh my God.
They were like, actually you used this lotion last time. You should buy this newer lotion. It doesn't give people rashes. I'm like, so you admit that you gave me a rash? You guys have no scruples. The people at the tanning bed place, they want to make a sale so bad.
It is the most cutthroat place.
What's our next dilemma, Kate?
Okay, so the next dilemma is okay. So I'm going to give a little context on this one. The date that they did pick for their wedding, it's not a common wedding date, but it has like some significance for them. So don't let that distract you because I feel like it will.
What's the date?
So the dilemma is a no kids wedding on Halloween rude. So obviously they're getting married October 31st.
Yeah. Well, if it's a Saturday, it's a Saturday in October. They're hard to come by. So I'll put my thoughts on that aside. But
Saturday? It's a Friday.
okay. Also a day where a lot of people are having their weddings. And like
Yeah.
if you needed to get a weekday, understand. I think it's a little rude, but like also like how, like, you know what I mean? If you're older, like
Yeah.
I'm sure you're fine to miss a Halloween with your kids. I feel like Mary Vincent, my sister-in-law, would love it. And the kids
Yeah.
would like love to have a babysitter on Halloween. That's so fun.
It's still fun. And I mean, it might be like a little more challenging to find a sitter, but you also, depending if you like live in a neighborhood, like
right.
you could it's probably an easy day.
Yeah,
to, like
maybe
almost
your
like,
kid could like go on a sleepover.
yeah, stay with a neighbor, stay with a friend.
Yeah, I feel like it's almost easier.
Yeah. So I don't think it's rude. I mean, the no kid wedding topic is a dilemma. Definitely. I feel like that's like one of the more common wedding dilemmas.
Right.
And whatever you decide, whether it's like yes kids, no kids, I feel like you just have to like be really convicted with it. 'Cause
Right.
you're going to get pushback either way.
No, I totally agree. And I think like just look at your guest list. And if you have someone that you think it's going to upset, I don't know, like call them before.
Yeah.
Like, but I think those people, like my sister-in-law, she got Halloween off. But I think they'd like miss it. Like,
Yeah.
you want to see your kid in a costume. Like, it's not that devastating.
Well, and like, I mean, even
You'll
I
get
know
a picture. Like
Yeah.
Mary Vincent missed her
you'll miss
daughter's
the sugar high. Like, it's okay.
first dance recital. She was like, I have my brother's baby shower. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's like, what can you do?
There's only so much. So I don't know.
Also, like, think about it. Like, if your kids are young, they probably won't remember. If they're in middle school, they don't want to be around. You know?
You're doing them a favor. And I mean, if you like really want to go above and beyond, I know there were some people who were traveling for our wedding and they thought about bringing their kids, which I don't know why you would do this over Halloween, like stay at home with the grandkids. But I was like, oh, this was like literally, I did no follow up on this, but I was like, oh, if you want, I could give you some recommendations for a babysitter.
Yeah, I think people do actually put that on their website. Sometimes it's like local babysitters in the area and stuff.
I didn't. I was like, this seems like I have enough on my plate.
Right. No, I didn't either. But I think people do.
Yeah. Which is a really nice thing to do. And if you know sitters, obviously throw their name out there.
Right. Or if you like know someone that has a high schooler that like needs some cash.
Yeah. So those are our dilemmas today.
Well, those are pretty tough, but I think we got through them.
We nailed it. Alrighty. Well, until next time, enjoy your President's Day.
Yeah, happy Wednesday, everybody. Hope you had a good Valentine's Day.
All right. We'll subscribe.
Yeah, rate, review, like, listen, Unveiled Opinions podcast. We're on Instagram, we're on TikTok. Get out us, you guys. And follow us on Apple Podcasts and download the episodes. It really helps. We have way more plays than downloads. So thanks.
And that's a wrap. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.